Hey, it's Kamori, and today I'm going to show you how I sewed the forearm armor for my husband's Jace costume. So, let's get started. Cut a pattern out of some wrapping paper and use that to cut the pieces out of some brown vinyl. Then, for all of the designs on the front, I just took a clear ruler and a pen and sketched all of the designs onto the back of the vinyl to serve as guidelines for sewing. Then use some brown thread that matches the fabric to sew along all of the lines that we've drawn on to create the guidelines for painting. Once you have the guidelines sewn on, you can then fill in the designs using some paint. Jace's armor has 2 layers to it, so we have the top layer that we made earlier. Then I cut a second piece of vinyl and added the stitching and paint just like we did before, and added some Velcro on either side so it can be closed around the forearm. Secure the top panel to the bottom panel by sewing it together along the top and along the bottom, along the lines of stitching from earlier so that it's not quite as visible. Then we're going to cut a smaller strip of elastic for the bottom and a larger strip of elastic for the top. And we're going to tuck it underneath the flap, and we're going to sew it down the side along our previous line of stitching. The next step is to take the elastic and insert it into the other side, and did find that it is a bit tricky just because the material has a tendency to get caught underneath the area that you want to sew, so I did find it easier to sew it into 2 sections, start from one end and sew to the middle, then stop, turn the piece around, and sew from the other end towards the middle. Jace has 2 studs on either side of his arm pieces, and I'm going to create this effect using these plastic buttons that look like metal, and they are shank buttons, so they do have this little piece on the bottom here. So to attach them to the vinyl, I just took an X-Acto knife and scored where I want the button to go. I'm not going to cut completely through the vinyl, but I'm cutting through the top layer, and this gives a little place for the shank of the button to go into. Then I'm just going to cover the bottom of the button and the shank with some super glue, insert the shank into the little hole, and press it in place. Allow the glue to dry, and with that, the Vambraces are done. For more cosplay tutorials, please subscribe, and thank you very much for watching!